I got Mr. Stone here with me. You got a big match coming up. We haven't said that in a while. I know you kind of alluded to it on social media, but it's your first advertised singles match in 5 years. There's a lot of story behind it. If you've been following along NXT TV, you have an issue with Bron Breakker. You're looking to settle at Halloween Havoc. Talk to me about the match, how you're feeling going into it.
Well, it's a big match, but to be fair, I've really thought about this, and I think it may actually be the biggest match that I've ever had in almost 24 years because, I mean, the pressure's on, eyes are on me. People that do remember me are definitely going to be interested to see what happens now that I'm getting in the ring again in almost 5 years for a scheduled match. You know, can I still go? Can I still hold up? Which I assure you I could, but also there's just so much, behind it. I mean, everything that's going on with my good buddy Von Wagner. We started on day one together at the PC and NXT, friends inside and outside of the ring. Bron did him dirty. Bron hurt him pretty bad, and now I just accepted this thing without even really thinking through, and I'm hoping. Well, I know it's going to be like, I use this like riding a bike. I'm going to get on and I'm just gonna go. I'm just going to see what happens.
You when you challenged him to the match, it seemed like he lit. Obviously, you're reacting to what he did to Vaughn, but it seemed like he lit a fire under you a little bit. Do you think he was expecting that at all?
Oh, he definitely wasn't. He underestimates everything about me. He is so self-absorbed and into himself. I don't even know if he knows that I had a career prior to my new role as a manager. I don't even know if he knows I was really ever an in-ring performer.
Mhm.
He's going into this thinking he's in with some little dweeb guy that wears a suit and he's going to throw me around. Little does he know what's under that suit right now is a guy who is legitimately in the best shape of his life, a guy who has, almost 24 years in ring experience, traveled all over the world. And I'm going to bring all that to this match. Everything that I possibly have left in me, I am bringing to this match. And he's underestimating me. And I think him and the fans are going to be very surprised at what happens.
You've been paired with a lot of people throughout your WWE career. One of them was Chelsea Green. You've welcomed them to your brand, the Robert Stone brand. What do you think made Von Wagner and Mr. Stone click with fans? Like, why do you think it's been so endearing?
Um, I think just being able to actually see our friendship come into play on screen, because we were friends off screen, we were friends outside of the ring, but no one really knew Vaughn. I mean, you kind of look at him when you first saw him. I'm sure you thought it. Everyone thought he's just kind of this monster guy who doesn't really talk that much, doesn't really have much personality, but he does. He just wasn't showing it. And now I think they're getting just to see how, he's kind of like, he looks like a monster, but he's really just kind of like a big teddy bear. And they're seeing he has that soft side, which most people do. Everyone really does. And they've just seen the way that we're connecting. And to be honest, even in the past few months, our friendship's been taken to a new level. So the fans feel a part of that. And I think they get a kick out of it and like it. I
Yeah.
like it as it's happening.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed the segments that we've gotten to see. Like, obviously, there's a serious element to it. The therapy segments, the heart to hearts that you had with him in the stands about his I'm gonna screw up the name, trigonocephaly.
I
But
do all the time.
but
Yeah, go
like
on.
stuff like that, you're delivering it a certain way, but there's a hint to humor to it when you're just sitting there in the one promo and you're like, surgery. And it's not over the top, but there's just a little, almost bit of levity to it. Like they're
It
just
is what it is. Yeah, I just think, we're having these discussions and they are what they are. I mean, it's all new information to me. Like I said, a lot of the things, and that's kind of what makes our friendship so fun. He's telling me these things, and I know they're so serious, but it's words that I don't even necessarily know what they mean. I had to look them up afterwards. But the bottom line is, everything that went down with him in his childhood is so serious and is so real, And a lot of people out there could connect with it. And whether they went through that or something like that, they went through the same situations like him, as far as, maybe being bullied or people looking at you the wrong way in school when they were younger, maybe still now. So I feel like him opening up about it, maybe helped other people open up, and maybe, helped other people share their story now to kind of feel better about themselves. So I feel like it was a win-win for him and a win-win for everyone that's gotten to come along for the ride.
Yeah. And there's been a bunch of other segments. Some of them were obviously meant to be more humorous, like when you're the one therapy segment where you're tapping your foot there, like over tapping it. And then, back to your point about a lot of people maybe pegged him as a certain wrestler. Like, I'll credit you to getting him over with fans, like huge, because you present him, like you even said to him, like, there's a superstar in you. Like, you're setting the table for what you see in him, but also what fans could see in him. And, to a different extent, you haven't been a good guy too much in your career, if you want to look at it like that. And I think it's not only an interesting role for you to play, but, you are helping break that stereotype, like the big monster stereotype that maybe people placed on him, like when he first got there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And everything that comes out of my mouth about him is real. I mean, he is a good looking dude. He's a ladies' man. Maybe you wouldn't know it, but he is. He's I think a lot of people don't realize he's a second generation wrestler, so he has he's not just the guy who fell into wrestling a few years ago. He grew up with it. He knows a lot about it. He still learns from his father. He has an athletic background. He played football at UCF. Like, there's so much to him. I just feel like people just saw big guy, monster, growls, that's it. And I'm just trying to let everyone see there's so much more. It's almost kind of like in Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not a big, my kids watch. What's Batista's character's name?
Drax.
What is it?
Drax.
Yes, exactly. He's this guy who could kill people. That he could. And if you just looked at him, that's probably what you would think, and that's all that's to him. But he's got humor, he's got a soft side, and that's kind of like what Vaughn is. Mm-hmm. So he's a lovable guy, and I'm glad that people are seeing it now.
You mean your kids haven't completely taken over? You don't pay attention enough? They don't force it?
I either fall asleep during the movies they make me watch, or I'm on my phone or leave through them. There are one or two that I'll attempt to get into, but it's hard. But yeah, they run the house.
They're 5 or 6 now?
My twin boys are almost going to be 7.
Okay.
Next week, actually, next Friday.
So how much of this match is for them? You hear talent say a lot. I know MVP was one of the guys that I remember said he wanted his son to see him wrestle live. They might not remember the last time that you had a singles match, or maybe don't remember some of the earlier NXT matches. How much is this, letting them to say, hey, here's what dad does at work?
So I didn't bring it up to him because at first I didn't bring it up to him because I didn't know what the outcome could be. I'm not really going to promote them to watch something. And then, look, anything could happen. What if Bron does kill me? What if he beats me up? I don't know if I wanted him to see that, but a lot of their friends in school watch, and they came home and asked me and said, hey, you're wrestling Bron Breakker next week. So now they know, so I just smartened them up to everything. I told them about it, and it's on Halloween, so they're going to be out trick-or-treating, but I told them the next day they could watch it and see what happens. And I said, I did make them a promise, and I said, I will be sitting there with them on the couch the next day. So I'm not going to be in the hospital. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make sure that I stay safe in this thing, and I'm going to win this thing. And I'm going to be watching the match with them the next day, and they're going to get to see their dad beat Bron Breakker.
I like your confidence. You're showing it now. I mentioned the post that you put up. I think it was Tuesday night. Here's what I like about my wrestling, and you kind of touched on it. You said, when the bell rings and it is just me and him in the ring, anything can happen. I like a little parody in my wrestling. And I go back to any team can win on any given Sunday. Like, that's how the NFL's built on parody. I like my wrestling like that. And you're a WWE superstar. So if you aren't at that level, and why would you be there? So obviously you're there. I'm giving you a shot to win. That's what I want to see. Like, I don't I don't want to go in thinking like, hey, maybe you're going to get your butt kicked, but you also might win and get your butt kicked.
I'm pretty sure at some point during that match, I am going to get my butt kicked, but that is okay because I'm expecting it. But the big thing about this is I know Bron is just underestimating me. And he has everything to lose. Whether he loses the match, even if I just get a few good shots on him, I don't even know if people are expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just got everything to lose, and he's taken me lately. I'm sure he's probably out on his fishing boat this week doing whatever he does, not training for this match, where again, I'm in the best shape of my life. And I don't know if he's familiar with my experience in this industry and what I'm going to bring to this match. So I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to throw him off his game. And I think the ball's in my court. And I think there's going to be a lot of people surprised at how this goes down.
I'm familiar with your work. I've followed you throughout the years. You've won gold before. I'm going to agree with you that, he's taking you lightly. I don't want to get too far ahead, but you mentioned it's like riding a bike. What sort of expectations do you have for this match? Could you see it maybe wanting to get back in the ring after this? Is this the first? Are you anticipating maybe getting that spark again?
Right now I'm so focused on it's almost not even a match. I'm just focused on getting revenge on him and fighting him. I think we got to walk before we run, do the match, see what happens, and go from there. I don't even want to think past it yet because I'm just focused on it. But I will say this: I at my age and where I'm at, I'm enjoying my role, and I do like the fact that my health is good and my fitness is good. And going back to a full-time competitor, we all know that pro wrestling ain't ballet. And, I don't know what my body could hold up anymore to do it on a regular basis. So for now, let's do the one and then let's see what happens from there.
All right. I'll take that. You have your plate full come Tuesday. Anything else?
Hey, I saw what you just did there.
That one I did not mean.
Was good. That was good.
I'll take credit, but I swear I did not mean to do that this time. All right. So come Tuesday, there's a lot going on at Halloween Havoc. Before you get in the ring, or maybe once you're, cooling down after you get your hand raised, anything else you're looking forward to on the card that you're really excited that sort of highlights what NXT has going on right now?
Well, night one blew everybody away. Night two is going to do the same. Obviously, everyone wants to see the world title match, Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes. It's going to be wild. The finals of the women's breakout tournament is happening. A TLS match, tables, ladders, and scares, is it? Or something wild that I never even heard of. So I'm curious to see what that is all about. I think everybody is. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the whole show. But what I will say is I can only watch the matches after mine because I'm going to be in the zone so much before I'm going to have to catch up on DVR the next day. Because whenever my match is scheduled, I'm going to be pumping up and in the zone before it. I won't even be able to focus on what matches happen before mine. I get in that weird state about an hour before my match where I just can't talk to anybody. So, and this Tuesday might be 2 hours. I'm going to have to warm up the old body and see what's left.
Best of luck this week. Thanks for the time. It was great catching up with you as always. Tune in for Halloween Havoc Night 2 on Tuesday. Mr. Stone against Bron Breakker.
Thank you, man.